So, how about those Bitcoin fees? Hello and welcome back to the weekly crypto review. So, Bitcoin, wow. First off, let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on. As always, in the description you'll find a link to the Brave browser. Brave browser runs on BAT, which is a cryptocurrency. If you have to watch the ads on the web pages anyway, why not get paid for it? Let's take a look at what's going on in the markets. So, Bitcoin, up 4.5% over the last 7 days. That's actually really good. I'm really happy to see this. We're finally starting to move. Some of the other stuff that has been going up, like Cardano, it's up less than 1% at this point over the last 7 days. Not unexpected. As soon as they did the hard fork to Shelley, I really didn't expect it to move much. I expected it actually to drop. I'm thinking the only reason that it's currently not dropping more is because the exchanges are still working on getting that hard fork set up on their exchanges so that you can actually move back and forth. Last week I said something about buying some more Cardano. I use the Exodus wallet because it's got all of the different cryptocurrencies I want in a single place. It gives me the totals of each cryptocurrency, plus it gives me the total value of my portfolio. Well, I haven't been able to trade Cardano for a while now, and I don't expect I'm going to be able to. But one of the things I did do was I went in and because I had, as I said last week, I had some money in USDC, and I thought to myself after the video last week, it's just sitting there. It's not doing anything for me. I need to get it to working for me. I thought, well, okay, let's put it into Bitcoin. I know Bitcoin's going up, and I know Bitcoin's going to continue going up because it's just gotten out it's just popped up and broken out of through resistance. And then I saw how much they charged me for that one little transaction. So let's go take a look. First off, here's what we got in the charts. Bitcoin. We've got this descending green line. This is the wedge that we've been looking at since 2017, right? And we finally broke out. Let's see, this is the daily. Let's look at the weekly. That may be why my charts are so weird. Yeah, there we go. So this is the resistance that we've seen since the top of the market in 2017. And we're going to go ahead and look here at, there we go, that'll work. Make this a little bit bigger. We broke out 2 weeks ago. Last week we broke out past this line of resistance at 10.5, and we have a candle open above that, and currently we see a high of 11,629. So this yellow line here is at 11.5, or as close to 11.5 as I could get it, because that is the current resistance going back to last year and actually all the way back to the bear market. Okay, this was resistance all the way back into 2018. So I've got this marked up, and this is the current point of resistance at 11.5. The current candle, and we can see it a little bit better here on the daily chart, is we are currently just above 11.5. We're at 11.555 at this point. If we can get a candle close, specifically a weekly candle close, above this line of resistance, it will become support. Just like, go back to the daily, if you look at this candle right here, you'll see it wicked down here to the 10.5. In fact, this candle's low is at 10.548. So $48 above this line of resistance. So this resistance has now become support. Fantastic. We shouldn't be dropping down below 10.5 again. If we can get these candles to come up and close above 11.5, we're going to have some really good support here. Now we start to work our way up. If it can't do it, if it comes back down and it can't close above 11.5, we may find ourselves going sideways even more. Last week or so, we've been going pretty much sideways. That's fine. The weekly candles look a little bit better. We're going up, but if we have to go a little sideways over here at 11.5, that's fine. I'm not worried about consolidation here. But let's talk about fees, because that's really what I want to talk about. So as I mentioned last week, I have some money that I put into USDC, with the intent of buying Cardano. I wanted to get up to 10,000 ADA because 10,000 ADA at $100 a coin is $1 million. Again, can that happen? Absolutely. Will it happen? I have no idea. But I want to get prepared now when the price is cheap so that if it does happen, I benefit, right? So the money is sitting in USDC. I had about $750 there, and I thought it's just sitting there. I want it to work for me. I can't convert it to ADA just yet because the exchange, it was literally just after they hard forked onto the new branch, so nobody is doing exchanges into ADA at this point. Okay, fine. Let me put it into Bitcoin because I know Bitcoin is moving, right? It's going up. If I'm lucky, I might make a little extra money and be able to put a little extra money into ADA. Fantastic. Went ahead and make the exchange. Like I said, I'm using the Exodus wallet. So not only is the mining fee included, but it's using Shapeshift, so they're taking a percentage, and Exodus is taking a percentage. That's how they make their money. So I've got 3 people taking bites out of this exchange that I'm making. And my $750 came in USDC came out to it was like $701 in BTC. $50, really? Now, if you remember, like I do, what it was like at the end of 2017, way back here, pull this back down so we can see it, way back here, you'll remember that the fees that the miners, and it's not the fees that the miners are charging. Miners don't charge fees. It is the fees that people are offering the miners in order to make sure that their transaction gets into the next block. Because if you understand how the blockchain works, how mining works, currently miners make money by the reward that they get, which just halved back in May, went from 12 Bitcoin to 6.5 Bitcoin, but they also get any fees that you and I, as hodlers, want to give them in order to make sure that our transaction goes into the next block. So back here at the end of 2017, where we're at nearly $20,000, mining fees were upwards of $100 per transaction. And again, it's not the miners saying, hey, I want $100 to do this. It is people saying, I'm willing to pay $100 to make sure that, in this case, you move my Bitcoin out into something else because Bitcoin is falling. Well, now now that we're above, we've broken out of this triangle. We have broken above resistance that's been there for 3 years. People are getting excited. I don't blame them. That's fine. Get excited. But you apparently don't know how this works. And again, this is a truly free market. There are no regulations on this. There's no cap. Government isn't saying you can't pay more than a certain amount for your fees. And so it literally is a free market. And because people are offering such high fees to make sure that they get into Bitcoin, because now at this point they're trying to get in. They want to get in as quickly as possible. They want to make sure that their transaction, that their purchase of Bitcoin goes into the next block so that they get it within the next 10 minutes. So they're offering extraordinarily high fees to do this. Well, that affects everybody else because if they're offering, we'll just round it off and say $50 for a transaction, and we'll say it's $50 for a $1,000 transaction, okay? It would be less for a $100 transaction. Obviously, no one would pay half of their money for a transaction for $100, okay? But for $1,000, $50, and still, $50, if you have to get in or have to get out immediately, that you'll be willing to pay that fee, absolutely. Because I am not going through and doing the transaction myself, I am letting my wallet do the transaction. What they're doing is they are going in with the average fee, because they know that the average fee is likely to be picked up in the next block or the block after. They're not going to go with the highest fee, and they're not going to go with the lowest fee, because the lowest fee is going to be no fee. And yes, there are people who actually do say, I'm not going to pay a fee. Do this transaction whenever. And when there are no real transactions, when Bitcoin's going sideways, pretty much like it did for the last 3 months, no fee transactions do get picked up because nobody's buying or selling Bitcoin. Now that people are buying Bitcoin, those no transaction fees are going to sit there in the pool, and they're going to sit there, and they're going to sit there, because why would a miner take a transaction that isn't paying them anything when they can get this transaction over here that's paying them $50, right? So this is one of the things that people hardly ever talk about, and that is the fees associated. And it's not just Bitcoin. Ethereum's going through the same problem. Vitalik has talked about Ethereum fees, gas, being excessive. Well, okay, I understand that. But again, it's a free market. People are paying what they feel the fair price is. I don't like the fact that my $750 suddenly became $700. I don't like that at all. But again, I'm not putting it in there. Well, if I'm putting it in there for an investment, I expect it to grow over the next year and a half anyway. I'm putting it in there so that it can do a little bit of work for me before I'm able to put that money into Cardano where I really want it. Okay? So, yeah, it's excessive. It's too much. But I'm willing to pay that fee in order to make the gains, in order to make sure that I am set up so that by the time this bull run finishes up, I have everything in order to come out of it in much better position than I went into it. High fees are just the price of playing. And again, they're going to go up and they're going to go down as Bitcoin goes up and goes down. But the higher it goes, the more parabolic it goes, the higher those fees are going to be, because people are going to be willing to pay fees, high fees, to get in or to get out, to make sure that their transaction is in the next block. That's how the free market works. I can't complain about it. I don't have to like the high fees, but I can't complain about the free market. And again, if I don't want to pay high fees, I wait until everything cools down. Of course, by then, everybody else has gotten out and the prices drop down to the bottom. No point in getting out there. So, yeah. Welcome to the wonderful world of free markets and cryptocurrencies. I'll talk to you next week. Until then, remember, don't trust, verify.